Mm. We are live on this glorious Friday. Today, I noticed that yesterday we tend we tend to put more value upon the tangible things than we do upon the intangible. That's what I noticed. Because, for instance, I was on the phone with someone and he said to me, "Yeah," because we were talking about tangible and intangible. Being in a trade, if you call him and he fixes the problem, you can flip a switch and there you go. You see the work that is done. So you would say that was good work. But if someone now, per se, comes to me as to help them with a situation, they may not see that change instantaneously. And so one would be led to think, well, nothing changed. What's the point of going? Because they don't see it yet. They don't feel it yet, right? So we tend to put more value on the person who can produce the instantaneous, tangible results. If you have a retaining wall that needs to be fixed, you're not going to call a mystic or a coach to do it for you. You'll call a bricklayer or a mason to fix your retaining wall. So we tend to think that those things have more value. But here's what I've noticed: it is the intangible things. I'm going to say that word to you again: intangible, or the word invisible. Invisible does not mean you cannot see it. Listen to the word invisible. Visible means it can be seen, but on the inside. Inside, visible. Same for intangible. It is within you where you can feel it, but on the outside, it's not quite there yet. So, it is usually better, based upon law, to develop the invisible, the intangible first, because it is based on that we will encounter the tangible or the visible. So it makes you question. Like this is the same reason why when people will choose acupuncture or traditional Chinese medicine, why they will still kind of dig their heels in when you say, "Listen, I'd like you to take this formula. I want you to drink this. It tastes foul, sure, but I want you to drink it because it will help you." And you explain to them how it helps. And then they say, "Yeah, but that doesn't work like Western medicine." Because with Western medicine, if you have a headache, you take an aspirin or a Tylenol, whatever, and the headache goes away. Or does it? Does it go away, or is it just hidden from your view? This is the question I'm asking you. Does the headache go away, or is it just hidden from your view? That's how that works. But in TCM, traditional Chinese medicine, we find the root cause of your headache. And when you drink the herbs, they modify the cause. They treat what's causing the problem that we can't see with the naked eye, but we know is there based upon the effect of the headache. So we deal with that. And then the headache will go away if you put the right two needles in. The headache goes away instantaneously. Not because it's been suppressed, but because the meridian that is causing the problem, you've done something to it. Either it was excess and you reduced it, or it was weak and you strengthened it. But either way, you did something to it to make that headache go away. from the source, from the origin, from the cause. So it appears to be intangible because it takes so long. Why do I have to keep taking these herbs? I'm like, you're not taking them forever. You're simply taking them until you have corrected the underlying cause. So that's how it functions in TCM by way of law because it's based on law. But in the West, it is suppressive because you don't want the pain. So it says, fine, I'll get rid of the pain for you. But there's a cost to that because you're not treating what is intangible. You're only treating what is tangible. This is what we do. I don't know why. But again, of course I do. We look towards the tangible and we give that more credence. We say the tangible is worth more. But without the intangible, the tangible cannot be. Things were made from the unseen. So when you are working to change your life, look at the tangible, yes, because the tangible will show you the intangible cause so that you can change it. But what do? We look at the problem because it's tangible and we fight it and we struggle against it, throwing mud at the wall to see what sticks. That's what we do. But in order to change, start looking and seeing the intangible first. Always go within first. Because you can clearly see what's happening on the outside. Nothing's hidden there. So once you see it, you can say, oh, I know what to do. And we know that the root cause is what? The thought, the mindset, the mental attitude, or as Neville so eloquently put it, your attitude towards life is the intangible cause of your tangible issues. Your attitude towards life is the intangible cause. You can't see that attitude towards life, but you can feel it within. Intangible. Tangible is to be felt. You can feel it on the inside of yourself. But we were taught always to gaze outside. So today, tangible isn't more worthy than the intangible. We just gave it more importance. They work together. As within, so without. They work together. You take one away, you can't take one away because you have to think of causation as well. Every cause has its effect and every effect its cause. So if you're seeing a problem, a tangible issue, there is an intangible cause. You would not see the effect if there was no cause. So you can't separate tangible from intangible. You can't. One requires the other. Shoot, they both require each other to exist. So, in order to help yourself out on a daily basis, because you know we're going through the weekend now, remember what the intangible is. The intangible is our mental attitude towards life. That's the intangible, our attitude towards life. So when you go through the weekend and you encounter things, remember, it did not get there on its own. But if you can remember, oh shoot, I'm dealing with this because of my attitude towards this specific thing in life. That's how you help yourself, by recognizing that's what you're doing. When you recognize that you're doing it, look at how powerful you become. Because you're no longer blind. You can see now. You can see clearly what you are doing. It is a most beautiful thing. It is a very freeing thing, the feeling of it. I don't know how many people I have read say, I wish I had never learned the law. Listen, whether you learn the law or you don't learn the law doesn't stop the law. But it is in your best interest to learn, practice, apply the law to live your best life. That's suggested. You see, because we look at things and we say, well, how come this happened faster than the other? Remember the story, the lecture the other night? The woman was driving and she saw a little old lady running to catch the bus. And she, at the stoplight, said to herself, ooh, I'm going to give that lady a ride so she can make it. And she had a conversation in her head of what she would have heard. And as she was at the tail end of this, a knock on her window, her passenger window. A lady needed a ride. How did that happen so fast? Because the woman was there. You see, this is how we live. What's right in front of you is where you start. You don't dredge up anything. You look at where you are right here, right now. Doubt me, do you? Oh my God, I'm so hungry. What did I do last week? No, if you're hungry, you're dealing with here and now because your stomach says, rah. So you're hungry now. So the solution would be food now. We're only ever here right now in this moment. So whatever it is that is intangible that you are doing will line itself up with what's in front of you now. So for instance, if you know that something is expiring, that's happening now, isn't it? So what do? You prepare yourself in such a way that you can have a smooth transition from where you are to where you need to go based upon what is expiring. For instance, a lease, a tenancy, something is expiring. So what are you going to do? You don't wait until the tenancy is over because in your mind's eye, the tenancy actually is over. It is done. It just has an expiration date on it to tell you exactly when, but it is done. If the tenancy were not terminated, you would not have been given a notice. So why would you look for something? Do you hear what I'm saying to you? So we live based upon what's happening in front of us right here and right now. You stop at the red light because it's red in front of you now. You don't speed through and go, save me, Jesus. But that's how we tend to live our lives, right? We want things to change instantly. Then what things? What are you dealing with right here and right now? The thing that is clearly more pressing. So that when you deal with it, you see the result, you move on. I know that might not make sense. Let me find another way to say it to you. We tend to want to look into the future and say, oh, I got a plan for this. Oh, I got a plan for that. Retirement, allegedly, is inevitable. It has an end. So why would you wait to the end? You already know the end is there. It's like having your will. We already know because the end has been determined. The end is already there. But that end is not right there in front of you right this instant, but living is. So you live right here, right now. You live until you stop. But most of us, when we want to deliberately create something, what we do is we obsess and we stop living because we're waiting for it. But here's what happens when you stop living. What do I mean by stop living? Pining and hoping and wishing. Is it here yet? When we do that, because you are not living, you have closed off the avenues for the things to make its way towards you. Thus, the delay. If you say, wow, I need more clients for my business, but you are home wondering where and when they will show up, but you're not doing what you've always done to say, oh, I got to teach this today. Oh, I got to do that today and get your stuff done. How will you meet the people if you don't live? So you don't sit and wait for what it is that you have moved yourself into the state to accept. You don't wait for it. You accept it, and because you know the end is inevitable, that it has to show up, live. Do your laundry, put it away, cook your food, wash the floors, walk the dog, live. Because in the living, all of the avenues are now open towards you. The streams of life are flowing towards you because you are active within life. But the moment you stop, the flow stops because you are not moving. So don't get it twisted. Because you look like you're not moving, it doesn't mean you are not. It's just that you're repeating the same stagnant behavior of fear. So get up and do your work. Meet your friends, hang out, live and enjoy life so that the streams of life are continually flowing towards you, so that the thing you deliberately moved into the state of, it can flow towards you on the current of life. Don't stop there and say, oh my God, but where is it? I'm scared. I'm worried. I know all too well about that. I've got a PhD in that, let me tell you, so I know. Worry? Yes. It was an honorary degree. My grandmother gave it to me. But you hear what I'm saying to you. So that's why I'm saying we give more credence to the tangible things than we do the intangible. Because we forget that without the intangible things, you cannot bring about the tangible. So continue doing the tangible because you put it there anyway. And you will see that through the passage of your living, Neville calls it a bridge of incidents. Listen, we're always walking over some bridge. We may be more hesitant now, allegedly. But we always do it. We walk across, and that invisible bridge to bring us towards what it is we put there to say, yes, I'm ready to experience that. This is what people call detaching yourself. It's not detaching, it's just a fancy word. You know that the thing you say is done. It is. It already exists. You just get into the state for it that matches it. But while you're in the state, you have to animate the state. You have to live now. So, what I'm telling you today is put the importance where it is meant to be, inward to outward, always inward towards the outside, inward towards the outside, over and over again. And what is inside? Our attitude towards life is on the inside. It may appear to be invisible, intangible, but you can see it. You know that it is there. And you know it can't happen without showing itself on the outside. So if we would take our time and enjoy life, stop and smell the roses. That was one of the things I enjoyed about Fraserburgh, Scotland. Everybody has a rose garden. If you had allergies, heaven help you, right? Everybody had a rose garden. Everybody. I think it was state law, who knows? But it was such a fragrant walk to stop and smell the roses, to live life, to be excited about, which part of my state will I experience now? That's what the fun is. Which part will I experience now? Remember when Neville says that man has a short memory? We forget the seeds we've planted. You see, if we would take pleasure in what we planted, we'd be eager about our harvest. And so you'd see it when it started to sprout. You would see the quote unquote coincidences or synchronicities. You know how we like our big words, right? You'd be excited when you saw them. You're like, oh, well, that happened as a result of this is what I did. Oh my God, it is getting closer. And you would watch and you'd pay attention at all the fascinating things that had to line themselves up to bring you towards what it was you said you wanted to be. So take pleasure in the intangible things because you know they bring you the tangible things. Take pleasure in that. Have fun along the journey to see, oh my God, I did that. I have a sprout. Meaning you have a situation and you can say, oh, well, that was an instant manifestation. Everything in your life is an instant manifestation based upon your attitude towards life. So don't think that it's woo-woo or it's magic or it's some kind of witchcraft, because it isn't. If it were, then gardening would be witchcraft. Mind you, these superior green thumb people, wow, you think you've seen a garden. Mm-mm. You wonder, what kind of voodoo are you doing on that garden? Because it is glorious. It's just their love of the game. It's just their passion for what they do. It must show itself, you understand. Right? It must always show itself. It is a beautiful thing. It really is. So this morning and this weekend as you go through it, remember what you are encountering that is tangible has its origin in the intangible. And the intangible thing is our attitude towards life. Let us take a moment to welcome everyone into the space, shall we? YouTube and Facebook, Sonia and Wisdom Almighty have made themselves known in the chat. Hey, howdy, y'alls. Howdy. Twitter is bumping this morning. Hello. Oh, shoot. We even have a request. Hello, Bob dearest. Let me do that. Let me welcome everyone to the space. I think you got it. So Bob is here, driving tea. It's Symmetric is here. King Beauty is here. Tiffany and Javion are here. Shay, the other Shay is here. The Twitter Shay. Hello. Johan is here. Lesego is here. And Vukuzu Umbefe? Is that how I say it? Vukuzu Mbese? Wow. Welcome to the space. And you know I have never said your name before. So welcome, dearest. And who's on fan base this morning? Honey is here. KZ, hello, my darling, is here. Miss Boricua is here. Miss McQueen, Fawn, Ali is here. Shay Butter, the fan base, Shay. Joaquim is here. Oracle Treehouse, Flo Smiles. And of course, if you were here earlier, Little bit, he is also here, but he's on snooze at the moment. Bob, dearest, you had something to ask or to share?
Hello, good morning.
Hello.
How are you?
I am well, and yourself?
I am doing okay, thank you very much. It's a good morning. It's been carrots and hummus for lunch. I'm in the UK, so it's a little bit later here. And I came up to say hi because you kind of enticed me to do so when you were saying do the things, go and do the things, and it's intangible what might happen if I come up and say hi. So I'm along for the ride. Also want to say hi to everybody else. But I do enjoy your spaces. Thank you very much for holding them. I'm looking up Fanbase. Is it fanbase.app, next gen social media you're talking about?
Yes, it has a purple F in there, is it?
A white F, but a purple icon.
That's it.
That's what it looks like to me. So how do we engage with you over there? I've not heard of Fanbase before.
It
and
is.
Hi to everybody on Fanbase if they can hear us.
Yes,
hi,
they can.
Fanbase.
Yeah. You know, it's exactly like this one because it is the audio room concept as well. So everything that you can do on every other platform, you can do all of those things in one place, which is Fanbase. Truly, and Fanbase is how it's funny you should say that because it goes right along with the tangible and the intangible, Bob. Ah, Johan, I'm coming. That's my Johan. I thought it was you. Listen, now, the reason why I say this all goes along is because one day, as I was just living, my bestie said to me, "You have got to find a way to share with others the way you share with me on a daily basis. Anytime I call you and I need assistance with something, you always know what to say." She said, "Well, you've got to get out there and do it." Of course, my response was, "But I don't like being on camera." Because I don't. I just don't, right? But I don't know how. I don't recall how. But I stumbled, you would call it stumbling if you didn't know the law, upon Fanbase. And I was like, wait a minute, an audio room? I can talk? That's it? That's all I have to do? Talk? Done. Sign me up. And what I started doing that. And that's how come I branched out into every other area now because of Fanbase. Um, and that's why I enjoy Fanbase because it gave me the opportunity to do what I love, how I love doing it. Audio versus audio visual. And that's why I tell you to live every day and you will come across the avenues that you should take in order to express what you have on the inside. So thank you for that, Bob. Thank you. Hello, Johan, darling.
Hey, Positivity, I did not know you was on. Hello. Hello, Fanbase. Hello, people.
Yes, we're always here every morning. Fanbase, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter. We're here every day. But that's what I mean. It's so good to see and hear you, Johan, darling. Love you. So you know what I mean when I say you want to do something in your life. Define what it is you want to do. I wanted to talk and not have people looking in my face. I got that from my other grandmother. She didn't like people looking in her face all the time. So that's what I wanted to do. But if I had sat at home and said, "I'm scared and I don't know how and I don't know," I would not have been out exploring something, living life in order to come upon the opportunity. Wealthy Supreme Rico. So you understand what I'm saying to you. Live, simply define what it is you want to experience. That's where you always start. What do I want? Define it. Because that's all I did. I knew how I wanted to feel. Like I said, I wanted to be heard, not seen. So I knew what that felt like. That was freeing to me. So you define what you want and you recognize how you feel about it. And then once you've done that, go and do something with yourself. Like I said, do the laundry. Do what you would normally do anyway. Live your life, right? And if you are paying attention, you will come across what it was you said you wanted to do. You'll come across it like, oh my God, by accident. There are no accidents. There is cause and effect. So, because I identified what I wanted and just went about living, the effect was to experience it in the tangible form. So, today, my beautiful friends, let me press this point home for you. Define what you want to experience. A new house, a new car, a new relationship, deeper spirituality. Define it. You don't have to say it out loud. One does not need to speak to be heard, you understand? You are always heard because I am is always listening. So when you define it, it gives you a little bit of a buzz. It says, "Oh, yes, it would be lovely to do that, wouldn't it?" And just go about the day. And keep your eyes open, your ears open. Be on the alert to do what? Watch for the beautiful thing you planted so that you can pick it and go, ah, just as I imagined it would be. That's what you do. And you'll notice this thing. When you are plucking from the vine of life, what you pluck feeds you. It doesn't die, it feeds you. Because you know when you cut flowers, fresh cut flowers, shoot, you're lucky if you get 7 days. But with the law, when you encounter the thing that you said you want to experience, whenever you partake of it, it gives you life. It feeds you. The more you partake of it, the more life you get. It does not deplete. You understand? Because you can't deplete the law. I gotta pull what's his name? Shen. No, Tai Lung. You cannot deplete me from Kung Fu Panda. He said you cannot defeat, but here's the law. You cannot deplete the law, but you must use it. So that is the encouragement for us this morning. So before we go, you'll hear the bowl for about 3 minutes. You may get bird song, but he's quiet right now. My rooster, he's quiet. Right? Then you hear the bowl this morning. I want for you to generate some excitement inside your heart. For what purpose, you ask? Well, you're living. Get excited about that part. My grandfather told me as long as you're alive, you can make a difference, you can change. That's what he told me when I was a wee girl with Afro puffs. So I know he's right. So find that thing that you've buried inside that keeps whispering your name. Do me. Accomplish me. It keeps saying that to you. Remember how to do it. Define it. Feel it. Allow it. When you hear the bowl and bird song this morning, go back to that thing because it is not impossible. How can it be? It has its origin because you can think about it. It is possible. Don't worry about how. I didn't know how I was going to get here, but here we are nonetheless. Hmm? Bowl and bird song. Let's get the bowl, y'all. Just 3 minutes. If you're driving, focus on the road. But if not, and you're in a space, just allow yourself to feel it and to experience it within yourself and pay attention, and you will come upon it. And when you come upon it, you will say, well, by golly, that crazy girl was right. I wasn't right. The law is always right. Countdown initiated. 5, 4, 3, 2. Yes, Master, I hear you. Twitter, thank you all for being here today. YouTube, Facebook, fan base, thank you all. And tonight we have our bedtime lecture. I forget which one it is, but it'll be popping as usual. So I'll see you tonight, 10:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And for our afternoon folks, thank you for being here. Bob, everybody, thank you all for being here. Yes, they can hear you too. Lord of mercy. Anywho, he will not be outdone, let me tell you. So I love you all. Enjoy the beautiful weekend. Enjoy it. Yes. Much love to you all. Bye. Twitter is closed. YouTube, Facebook. I love y'all. I'm going to catch you tonight. Hey.